So the first consideration I want to definitely drive and just remind you why is planting population. So it's late June. We just had the summer solstice there on Sunday on Father's Day. So with every day we're getting a little bit less sunlight, and we know that soybeans are very responsive to day length. And so as these days get shorter, we're shortening the amount of time when those blooms are going to start popping out. And we thought our early planted beans were blooming early. These double crop beans are really going to start packing those flowers on at a very small vegetative size. So as I think about planting populations, it really goes into row spacing as well. Narrower is better. So we want to be in a drilled or a 15-inch row, even a 20-inch row soybean situation. Probably don't want to go too much wider than that. 30-inch rows, that's the only planter operation you have, I think you can make it work. But again, to optimize our yield, our plants per acre, our nodes per acre, let's go narrow and bump up those populations. So in a 15 or 20-inch row scenario, we definitely want to be, going beyond that 160,000 range. I know that's a very different conversation traditionally compared to our first planting or our earlier planting. As we think about a drilled scenario, 180,000 is pretty commonplace, maybe pushing it on out towards 200,000 or even beyond that as we get into a July planting date potentially as well. The second consideration is maturity. So we of course want timely maturing beans so that while the combine's running this fall, we're able to get things out in a timely manner, get our dirt work done, etc. But again, with this later planting date, it's better to air a little bit fuller as we think about those soybeans' response to the day length and blooming and flowering. So it's not the time to be planting a 3.6 or earlier maturity. I'd really encourage you all to consider a 3.8 to a 4.9 to give you some diversity in your planting date, to think about the nodes per plant, and again, when those beans are going to start to set blooms, which in turn kind of slows down that vegetative growth as well. So we know with this trash, this wheat stubble on the ground, we gotta have our planter settings in a good place as we think about making our furrow, cutting into this heavier trash, and getting good seed to soil contact for optimal emergence. We know we've got the heat. Hopefully there's some soil moisture where you're going to be planting. So we've got to do it right by the seed to make sure we're at a good planting depth. We know in dry conditions we might shallow that up a little bit, getting a little bit closer towards that 1-inch mark, but I still encourage you to maybe go a little bit deeper if you have some soil moisture specifically. Go towards that 1.5-inch depth. Again, it just ensures that seed's in a good secure place and good seed to soil contact, which is going to drive root development in that nodulation process as well. And one final consideration is weed management. So we, of course, want to continue our mantra in Southern Illinois here with start clean, spray clean, and stay clean. So, this is a great opportunity to get another get our residual down. Many of the fuller season Asgrow XtendFlex beans are sulfonylurea tolerant or SR ready. So that does give you some flexibility in some chemistries that was maybe used on the wheat acres, be able to rotate some modes, etc. there. But again, just make sure you continue this aggressive weed management program and ensure that we're going to stay clean as these beans continue to fight, be a little bit shorter, so that canopy closure might be a little bit delayed based off of the stature of the plants. We know they're going to be shorter, so we've got to really pack them in there from a population perspective, again, to keep the weeds from coming out of the ground. So hopefully that helps you as you think about some high level, very simple tactics with our soybean double crop acres here in Southern Illinois for 2021. Thanks.